Last week I had the opportunity to play a Jump Ship. This is a very impressive space game that's going to be arriving in the not too distant future. On screen you can see the session I had with the developers, and it was actually a lot of fun. So the game itself focuses very heavily on spaceships. The idea is to head out into space and conduct a variety of different missions. As a team, it's your objective to work together as a cohesive unit. Now, you're not all assigned to specific roles or specific tasks. Instead, you take on whatever task suits you at the time. You just need to learn to work together. So you can choose to pilot the ship, you can choose to engineer the ship, you might want to conduct repairs or otherwise go out and do some defensive combat or defuse some of the turrets. It's up to you how you play it, and anyone can do any one of these actions. You're not limited or restricted. Basically, it's not all about class systems, instead it's about working together. So you start out in the hangar. This is an area where you've got most of the things you actually need. There's a galaxy map here from which you can select missions. You've got the option to have a bit of fun, you can kick a football around. Then of course you have access to the variety of different components that you may want to have added to your ship. On top of that, you can also select the different ships that you do have unlocked here as well. Once you're good and ready to go, you can head off onto your selected mission. The missions themselves are available from the galaxy map. You can see them here. There are initially a lot of locked off areas, and these will unlock as you progress through what essentially will be the game's story. But that said, you can play through any of the missions that are available to you at any time. Now, the approach that the team are taking with the Jump Ship is something that you'll have noticed with a lot of other indie space games, and this is an approach I really do like. Rather than going completely broad and containing absolutely everything, a full-on seamless galaxy with gameplay that allows you to do absolutely everything, instead what they're doing is having a laser focus on their specific type of gameplay they want to achieve. And this is why we're seeing so many very successful and very enjoyable actually indie space titles. They're actually working on goals that are completely realistic and objectives that they can attain. Now, let's head off into space. Once you've got your mission chosen, you can press the B key here, everyone's ready, and your ship lifts off, and off into space you go. Now, the mission I played here with the team, these had separate stages to it. You have to jump from what is essentially one area of space to the next after completing an objective within the current area. So what we had to do here was board one of these vessels, this kind of cargo area, and disable all of the systems that were on board it. All the while we were under attack by hostile drones. Now, whilst you're playing, other activities can happen, and these are not scripted events, these are just events that may unfold dynamically. One of these, whilst we were here, was an asteroid shower, and this completely annihilates everyone that's in the area, so you get a very limited time once this happens, and we needed to evacuate to the next area as quickly as possible, but preferably not before completing our objectives. Now, you notice whilst I'm on board the areas here that there's quite a bit of gunplay, and the gunplay, from what I could tell at least based on the limited access I had to a couple of weapons, we got the pistol that we start off with and a small machine gun as well. Yeah, I did enjoy this. The gunplay feels suitably kinetic, there's enough impact going on here, and the pace of it is engaging enough to keep it interesting. There was a few moments where we felt very under pressure and needed to work together in order to achieve our goals. One such example, we were here in this area which, it looks like it's burning. We got drones everywhere. The timer is getting very low to complete this mission. We needed to basically take cargo crates out from the holds here and store them in the ship. But we needed to do that whilst under heavy fire and whilst we're all low on health, and at the same time whilst we're watching the counter count down towards reinforcements arriving. So yeah, things can certainly get very hectic, but this just kind of forces you to really work together, because if you don't, you're going to soon be overwhelmed. Now, on that note, the developers did let me know that yes, they're very much aware that a lot of people do want to play these types of games as a lone single player as well, and they do have a way around this. They will have other AI out there, other AI-controlled NPCs that will be able to act as your team. Now, unfortunately, this isn't something that's going to be on the initial early access release, but it is something that's coming a little later down the line. Based on the feedback they've had so far, they're very much aware that this is a highly demanded feature, so it's not something they're going to be ignoring. It's something they're very keen to be implementing. Now elsewhere, you can see on board the ship, we've got a variety of different functions here. We've got a control panel here, and this allows us to determine which functions the ship actually has enabled. The areas that are green are essentially the control board, and we need to move these big chips around so that we can orientate them in such a way we can get as many of these systems active as possible. All of this can be upgraded, allowing you to expand the green coloured areas, therefore allowing you to have a higher number of active systems. Of course, you can imagine what this must be like when the ship is under fire and you've got fires burning around you, literally. You've got enemies shooting at your ship, and someone needs to come down here to conduct a variety of different repairs or upgrades. It can get very intensive indeed. Now, of course, one thing you're all going to be wondering about is piloting the ship itself. So to do that, as I said, anyone on the team can simply sit down in the pilot seat and they will be able to control the ship. The camera switches to a third-person mode here, and then you have full control over the ship. Now, you also get control over some of the ship's weapons, so you can get involved in dogfights and taking on the hostiles as they approach, and, well, you can chase them down as well if you want. Someone else, meanwhile, inside the ship can sit on the turrets and take control of those. A little feature I really enjoyed here is you can see a little outline, a silhouette of the people on board your ship, your other team, so you can see them running around your ship and conducting the various different activities. That can be, like I say, putting out fires, it can be conducting repairs, or in more peaceful times when combat isn't going on, it might be someone building weapons or other things on board the ship. So as you progress through the mission then, you'll work your way from zone to zone. At the end of completing one objective, you'll need to align the ship and then jump to the next zone and, well, basically conduct another mission here, usually a different one. This will happen through a series of chains. Sometimes the entire mission can be completed within the space of a relatively short amount of time, a few minutes. Other missions might be much, much longer. At the end of this particular mission, we had to disable a large capital ship. Now, to do that, I was piloting the ship here and had to take out the utilities, the highlighted components on the capital ship. We can see those highlighted in red. Meanwhile, we were under constant attack, and, well, I think we barely made this one. We took on a heck of a lot of damage. Now, what's interesting here is that you also get the ability to go into EVA. Head to one of the ship's airlocks and you can just simply walk outside onto the exterior deck of the ship and then detach yourself and fly around. You can kind of fly like Iron Man here with thrusters, which is nice. You also get a grappling hook, which allows you to very rapidly cling back to the ship again. One of those nodes there that says F, we can highlight those and deploy the grappling hook, bringing us back to the surface of the ship very, very quickly. Now, what's interesting is you can also do this during moments of combat, and that will allow you to board enemy ships. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get the opportunity to do it during this particular play session, but, well, the idea here is that you'll be able to get inside the enemy ships and then disable them from the inside. Now, although at the moment there's no way to actually take control of these other ships, the developers have said that nothing is off the table for the future. It's something that may, or perhaps may not, but they are thinking about it. It's something that's possible for the future. Overall then, I really enjoyed my play session here with the developers. I've had a chance as well to play this on my own time, and well, what I like is the fact, as I said at the start of the video, that this is a very tight-knit, laser-focused game. It contains many of the aspects you'd enjoy from other bigger games such as Star Citizen. I mean, you've got the full-on spaceships here, the ability to walk around inside them and leave them and enter them in real time without any loading screens. We got some very compelling gameplay, which is made all the better by the fact that you don't have to take on any specific class, but instead can just conduct whatever role you desire. That just means you have to really work together as a team to achieve your objectives. Additionally, many of the activities within the game take place within the actual game world itself. For example, the moving of the components here on the circuit board, that all happens with the actual physical moving of objects rather than just simply accessing menus. And that, for me at least, really adds a nice level of realism and immersion. Overall then, really impressed to see how this game is coming together. I'm looking forward as well to see where it goes in the future. No release date on this one just yet, but it is set to release into early access this year, so keep your eye out, and of course I'll keep you informed as the game develops and progresses over the coming weeks. Thanks for watching this video. There's another one on the screen if you want to take a look at that. Do check out the link in the video description as well, where you can find out a little bit more about jump ship. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.